The main story in a game can be great, but it's usually so important, you know? High stakes, deadly danger, usually super hard boss fights.
Whoa, that was sick, dude.
I said usually. No, much better, if you ask us, are side quests, which tend to be little bite-sized missions with none of the lasting canonical consequences, and more like weird, wacky, and fun diversions to give you a break from the main game. However, some of these supposedly minor side quests are so traumatizing or affect your game so negatively that you should never start them in the first place. Here are 7 side quests you should never start, just trust us on this one, but do enjoy, and beware spoilers for the following games.
Hello there, mister. Hello.
The open world of Red Dead Redemption 2 is absolutely vast and full of every kind of side quest imaginable. From rounding up circus animals for an eccentric animal trainer,
Sweet mother.
to helping a mad scientist find his robot son. As such, when you're roaming around the swamps and bayous of Lemoyne, it's not unusual to hear someone calling out to you from afar.
What you doing here? You looking for a friend? I'll be your friend.
Probably someone else who needs you to fix their entire life for them. No, by all means. On closer inspection, you discover the voice belongs to a man called Sonny, who lives in a shack and wants you to see his collection of skulls.
You want to come in, see my collection of skulls?
Now, normally you'd consider a shirtless man inviting you into his house to see his skull collection to be something of a red flag. But this is Red Dead Redemption 2, remember? And some of the best side missions in the game start with you befriending weirdos, so you might be tempted to go in and see what's going on with all these skulls. To which we say, don't. Don't even go near the shack. In fact, maybe set it on fire and ride off, just to be safe.
Stay away from me.
Because if you do go into Sonnys Shack, instead of a cool side quest full of fun cowboy adventure, you get smacked over the head and knocked unconscious, and it's clear nothing good will follow.
Now come here. Don't you hate old Sonny now? Don't hate him. What? Oh, you struggled. And you lost. But it was quite a tussle, I tell you. Quite a tussle, my pet.
Then, apparently much later, you wake up in the bayou with all your cores empty and a sense that something very bad has gone on.
Oh, my Lord. Ugh. Ugh.
You can go back and get revenge, but if you ask us, far better to never approach this part of the bayou in the first place and stick to safer side quests like sending people over waterfalls in barrels.
I shall throw myself over the waterfall in just a barrel.
And so shall I, just to demonstrate how little your feeble gestures mean, you homunculus.
Much better.
Serves me right. Fitting bloody end. For a jumped up little with big ideas.
Nowhere is the duality of man more evident in Elden Ring than in the character of Big Bogart, who, you're told, has stolen a necklace from a woman named Raya.
That thug made off with a precious necklace. I need someone to retrieve it.
When you track down Big Bogart, though, he also has an enormous bowl of delicious, sizzling barbecue shrimp that he's perfectly happy to sell you for a great price.
Never met someone with a taste for brawn I can trust. We'd make good mates, I reckon.
And so commences what passes for friendship in the cruel and pitiless world of Elden Ring, where you and the actually quite pleasant Big Bogart sit around chatting about the life of a tarnished, and also mostly about seafood.
Perfect bloody timing, actually. I got crab. Cooked up fresh.
So if Elden Ring has taught us one thing, it's that first impressions aren't always correct and everyone deserves a chance. If Elden Ring has taught us 2 things, however, it's that first thing, plus how Elden Ring is trying to fuck you over at every opportunity. So maybe keep that in mind and don't start the side quest that gives you the option of freeing the character known as the Loathsome Dung Eater, who you'll find languishing in a cell in the gross sewers beneath Landell Royal Capital. Because if you do set him free, things are going to be very bad for many people, particularly your new pal Big Bogart.
I've been here long enough. I will kill again. And defile each corpse with care.
Yeah, that's probably not good. In fact, if you stop by old BB's place for one of your usual shrimp chats after letting Dung Eater out, he decides that now is the perfect time to give you a little backstory on the fella.
Kills people. And curses the souls. Does all sorts of shit to the corpses.
Yeah, that's probably not good. By starting this side quest, you have in fact unwillingly unleashed a wrong'un from BB's past. And what's worse, the next time you pop by to see your langoustine-loving homie, he's been fatally mutilated with something called the Seedbed Curse.
I don't want to live like this. Not anymore. So, please.
So Big Bogart is dead and the blame falls squarely on the Dung Eater's poopy shoulders. And of course yours, seeing as it was you that freed the coprophagic creep in the first place. What's worse is now you have to go through the rest of the game shrimpless, and no, this guy doesn't count.
There are countless pests to choose from.
Elden Ring is a really weird game when you think about it, hey?
V, how you doing, honey? Listen, got a golden opportunity for you.
Word on the streets that when Wako says golden, it's usually a turd wrapped in crepe paper.
It's a sticky situation.
Cyberpunk 2077 isn't just a brooding, neon-soaked slice of underworld drama. It also has a lighter side, usually only glimpsed in its side missions. Like the one where you befriend a sentient vending machine.
I thought he'd paint some mean things on me. The humiliation.
Or the one where you help a guy whose junk has exploded.
No, it's a normal implant malfunction.
Don't go into the side mission called Cinnamon expecting the same level of zany fun, however, because while it is weird, it's weird in such a creepy, disturbing way that if you want our advice, you'll never start it in the first place. The mission starts off fairly normally, with a guy called Bill Jablonski asking you to help him track down his wife's killer.
Joshua Stevenson. You and me are gonna give that murdering what he deserves. I'll tell you more inside. Get in, you're driving.
Successfully chase down the car in question and you'll find it's a police car, and Bill will find out that its occupants aren't keen on letting him get anywhere near the man he's after, who is one Joshua Stevenson.
Wait! No, stop! Stop the killing!
Hang around and Joshua, the killer, asks you to get in the car and go with him, which I think sounds like a terrible idea, but Keanu Reeves thinks sounds like a great idea. So I guess we're doing it.
Ha! That's it. Got no idea what this is about. But if you don't go with them, I'm never talking to you again.
What follows is a slow build in which you discover that Joshua is out of prison at the behest of a braindance production company who are using him to film a very specialist BD, which it becomes clear is going to be his live crucifixion.
Title's The Passion. We're speaking to the LCD, of course. And it's gonna revolutionize BD.
See this side quest all the way through to the very end, going along with Joshua's requests the whole time, and you'll eventually get to the final task in this mission, nailing Joshua to the cross yourself, and then staying with him while he dies.
Father, into thy hands I commit my spirit.
Or, I don't know, you could skip this side quest entirely and do the one with the funny talking gun.
Increasing volume by 300%.
Man, this is really taking my mind off all that stuff I just did. Oh wait, I just thought about it again.
What are you doing up here?
There's someone after me. He's trying to kill me.
Deadshot is a Batman villain who started out looking like this, pretty cool, and ended up looking like this, because Batman comics creators hate us apparently. You might be confused as to who Deadshot is, which is entirely fair enough because there are about 40 other comic villains with almost the same name and powers, but all you need to know is that he's good at shooting things and isn't Bullseye or Deathstroke or Deadpool.
You made me miss my target, Batman.
Deadshot appears in Batman Arkham City as the villain in the series of side missions known as Shot in the Dark, which start when Batman stumbles across a political prisoner on a rooftop who is promptly domed from half a mile away.
It's around the top of the tower. The specifications...
And then Batman, confident that this assassin probably only has one bullet, decides that now is the time to set up a laborious crime scene reconstruction out in the open with no cover.
The bullet hit here.
Being the world's greatest detective, Batman is able to deduce from the fact that Deadshot has written his own name on the shell casing that Deadshot is behind this killing. And so begins a deadly game of cat and mouse in which Deadshot kills 2 more people, gradually leaving behind crumbs of evidence for Batman to follow, until the two finally face off and Deadshot is taken down by his one weakness: physical trauma to the head by a guy in a bat costume. In universe, however, it is much better for everybody involved if you never start this side quest in the first place. If you don't start the mission, the first victim just chills on a rooftop for the rest of the game and never gets shot, and the other victims' bodies only appear after the mission starts, so presumably they too are still alive and living their lives somewhere else. And Deadshot never gets painfully DDT'd and thrown in lockup. Even Batman benefits because he doesn't have to do a bunch of tedious detective work and can instead indulge his true passion of beating up randos. Everybody wins! Thanks, Deathstroke.
Deadshot.
Deadshot.
This is King Courtney. Me Yardie posse could do with them rude boy driver and people is saying you the man. Get to the waste ground opposite the stadium in a car and wait for the other hopefuls. I've got been watching checkpoints all over stopping. First driver to a checkpoint gets the bling bling, then it's on to the next stop. If you get more checkpoints than any other driver, I can have me a little work for you.
Grand Theft Auto 3's Liberty City is one of the most hotly contested pieces of real estate on the planet, with multiple gangs fighting a violent turf war to stake their claim on just a tiny part of it. And I mean, looking at it here, you can see why. So beautiful, so blocky, so mysteriously foggy at a distance. Many of these gangs have side missions that let you earn a bit of extra cash as you play through GTA 3, giving you tasks that are lucrative but totally optional. And if you're smart, you'll avoid the ones offered by the gang called the Uptown Yardies, because they are 100% more trouble than they're worth.
We're going for a little ride into Hepburn Heights. Kill me some filthy Diablo boo-boo's been batting up me lady Queen Lizzie. You do the driving and the shooting and the dally and a boot. We'll make sure you don't get cold feet. Here, you'll need a piece.
At first, this string of missions seems fairly benign, or as benign as missions in Grand Theft Auto games get, including street racing and whacking rival gang members. But get to the final Yardie mission and things take a turn for the deadly, as you're told to go and pick up a stash in an old car.
Now hear this. Get your little self over to Bedford Point. There's a stash in an old jalopy and in quick smart now.
Now you discover that you've been set up by your ex-girlfriend and leader of the Colombian cartel, Catalina, who has joined forces with the Yardies, who now want you dead and have a bunch of suicide bombers to do the job, who are so hopped up on a drug called Spank that they're not even letting their voice lines play out properly.
Come to daddy. Come to dad. Come here. Tick-tock, what's on my... Here you go, I got a present for you. Tick-tock, what's on... Come to dad. Tick-tock, what's on my... Here you go, I got a present. Tick-tock, what's on my clock?
Even if you do survive this final mission, the worst is yet to come. The entire Yardie gang is now hostile to you and will attack you on sight, which is bad enough, but it's made worse by the fact that your safe house in that part of Liberty City is right by their turf, meaning you now have to run the gauntlet every time you step outside. So yeah, I'd advise not doing a bunch of shady stuff for a criminal gang. But then this is a Grand Theft Auto game, and that's basically the whole thing. Good luck!
Fallen London, the browser-based, text-heavy adventure game that Sunless Sea and Sunless Skies are based on, is set in an alternate history Victorian London where everything is super spooky and gothic and everyone is obsessed with death and... Okay, this just sounds like regular Victorian London? Oh, wait, there are monsters, right. Okay, no, that does check out. Fallen London is full of possibilities, and you choose what storylines you want to pursue, whether it's investigating paranormal activity, selling stories of your exploits, or just making out with an octopus man if this trailer is to be believed. There is one side quest you can pursue, however, that, while intriguing, will render the game completely unplayable, and it goes by the title Seeking Mr. Eaton's Name. When you start this particular side story, the game warns you that this is a bad idea, and even offers you an escape hatch to back out and do something less ruinous to your Fallen London game. But if you are determined and decide to press on, you can. What follows is a series of bad ideas and poor decisions as you burn through resources and do irreversible things that completely ruin your character. From what we understand, completing this side story takes ages and tries to trip you up at every turn, and the only reason you would want to do it in the first place is out of a morbid sense of curiosity. Speaking of that, the game's developer has specifically requested that no one spoil what happens at the end of this quest line, which is fair enough. But what everyone does know is that completing this side quest essentially bricks your account, so you'd have to really want to see what happens to actually go through with it. I mean, I've already seen my character make out with an octopus man, so it's gonna have to be something pretty spectacular to top that.
Come on.
Cult of the Lamb is a management game / action roguelite where you play as a cute sheep who runs a cult, which, let me tell you, is a lot harder than Jared Leto makes it seem. The day-to-day running of a cult, recruiting new members, keeping people fed, and making sure they don't wander off and start worshipping a tree or something, is all quite tricky. But thankfully, you're helped along the way by your faithful rat pal Ratau, who used to be a vessel like you, but now exists to make you the best dang cult leader sheep there ever was. Which is such a narrow description that I think you already are just by existing, but whatever. Anyway, Ratau is cute and friendly and helpful and plays knucklebones with you, so unless you're a total monster, you're going to want to avoid this series of side quests given to you by Fox, a sinister red fox who only shows up at night out of a puddle of darkness to ask you to do stuff for him. His requests start out fairly benign, asking you to bring him a big fish. But the escalation is fast and grim, progressing to you sacrificing a follower, then 2 followers, and then finally your old pal Ratau, who, it must be said, isn't super into the idea. Sure, you get the final piece of a holy talisman that you can use to unlock new fleeces, as well as a new follower form, but Ratau is now gone for good, as is the chance to play knucklebones with him and benefit from his friendly wisdom. Well, I feel bad. Or at least I did until I discovered this letter from Ratau that only appears after you give him up to be murdered. So yeah, I no longer feel bad. I feel terrible.
Thanks friends for watching this video about the side quests that you should never start, let alone finish. If you'd like to watch more videos like this from us and our sister channel Outside Extra, then you can. There are literally hundreds, I say, of them. There's this video from us, which is about the terrifying ways that games messed with your mind, with kind of like meta scares and the like. And then there's this video from Outside Extra, which is about the games that punished you by getting harder the worse you did at them.
Seems unfair.
Seems rough. Yeah, don't play those. Maybe consider that a kind of watch list of things to avoid. And also, if you'd like to support us and Outside Extra making more videos, then you can always check us out at patreon.com/oxclub and join the official Discord there. Thanks for watching. See you next Thursday. Oh wait, did I just call everyone a CUNT?
Tuesday.
But they both start with T.